want to know is, where's my tree? You know, so you just look in these things, and the most important part of your tree is your trunk. Now, the problem with this is, when you're looking like this, you can't see the whole thing, because a lot of the trunk is still under the soil. See how much I'm brushing off here? So don't do anything until you find the bottom of the trunk. And these guys with the nurseries, they like to bury them up to here. Oh, look, it's growing. There we go. Okay, now we're starting to get some side roots. They're called nabari. It's another thing you don't have to learn if you don't want to. It's Japanese. If you're dealing with this size, it's called Mame, but there aren't any rules. You can put red pots, you can put green pots, little ones and big ones, and whatever fits your, you know, there are no rules in Mame Bonsai. If you can keep it alive, that's all they ask. That's your rule, keep it alive. So, I put some water in some kind of a container. You know, one of these you were going to throw out anyway. And this is another thing you do not do with regular bonsai. I'm going to go along, and whenever I tell you to do something and you should never do it with a regular size bonsai, I'm going to say, don't do this with regular bonsai. Now with boxwood roots are real brittle, so they'll take all kinds of cutting and pulling, but if you crush them, you might as well throw them away, because if you crush these, it's like crushed soda straws. You know how well those work. So you take off as much of this extra stuff that you can get rid of easily. So I stabbed it to loosen it up. That's what I was doing. And I loosened it up, and I wiggled around my fingers in there. And I keep all my plants really wet, so this takes longer than it would with other. Then generally speaking with something this size, oh, by the way, I get all my tools, not all my tools, the ones I do with my little stuff, I get them at the dollar store. Then you want to cut away about the bottom third of this, because all the roots that go round and round, you don't want those. And you don't want that big taproot that almost everything has that helps the tree stand up, because you're going to replace that with something else. The most important...
How many fingers do you cut back?
How many fingers? I haven't cut any fingers back yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that would be my next count. This is another thing. You never do this with big bonsai. Put it in the water, because you're trying to dissolve away more of the old dirt. Never do that with big bonsai. Ever, ever, ever. Now, you have to go along here and you think, this one would look really cute in... I like this one. What do you want to do? With little guys, you have to repot every year. Print that on your foreheads every year. Okay. The next thing you do is get a piece of wire like this. Now, everybody's going to say, oh, you have to have wire cutters. You're hardly ever going to cut anything at the bottom of your scissors. So open them wide, stick it all the way down, and cut it.
Now you know why they get dull so fast.
Well, this part here is where you're going to be doing stuff that's important. You won't cut anything useful here unless you're working on something.
So you're not going to have any big branches?
Nope. Don't want any big branches. Don't do big. Okay. Then you made a hairpin. Ladies know what a hairpin is. Guys, you get that? Where you took the thing and bent it in the middle. Okay? You stick your hairpin tips through here. You want the round part at this end. Pull it through a little bit. Then everybody knows where to get this stuff at Joanna's or any of the hobby stores. They usually put thread pictures or something with them, and they cost about 50 cents. And you just cut them off, and one sheet lasts me about a year, and I repot everything every year. But you need, what, an inch square? So then you put it through, put the wire through the, okay. Now, this is to keep the dirt from running out the bottom and the bugs from getting in. Then you run it along the edge here, and you flip it over on the bottom. And it will also hold your tree in place when you're done with all this. Then you take some commercial bonsai soil, straight from the bag, and you make a little volcano in the middle. You know, little cone. Any left over, you can put it in that. And you have your tree, and see how all the soil went away? Now you take your tree and gently lower him into the pot. And you kind of twirl him around a little bit and save as many of the roots as you can. Obviously, you can't save them all, but the ones that are hanging out over the edge, that's the ones you got. Now we take some bonsai soil and you sprinkle it over the top. Now this is another one that people argue with. This is not a thing you really should do with big bonsai. Instead of doing like this, which is hard on the roots, you put it in, you know that penny that goes around and around in the thing when you drop it in? Well, if you do like that, the soil follows your stick. So you get new soil all the way through over all these roots. And you just repot it every year. You don't need places for it to grow new roots because it's not gonna. It's, okay, my handy dandy little, you can use this on the really small ones. I use it, what I'm doing is watering in the last bit of the soil. By squirting at it like this, I force it down into the more of these I get, it's like you get more than one kid, you don't treat it as nice as the first one. So, sometimes my little guys nowadays, they get kind of short shrift, but the best thing to do is Super Thrive and seaweed every day, yes.
Do you fertilize it that often because it's small?
Yes, because you want it to rinse through, you don't want to put very much. This stuff is like 0.005 or something. It's just about non-existent fertilizer. So they get a little snack every day. And you go along and you go, I don't like that branch. And I don't like that branch. Now these are a sculpture. You can wire these, but we'll get to a wiring one in a minute. But you just keep kind of, I don't like that one, and you want everything that points straight down, you want those to go away for sure. And then movement is nice. You see how his little trunk has a little bend in it? Isn't that cute? So we want him to be shorter on this side. So we'll trim more stuff off of this side. Now, see I've got this going on here? So I wanted this side to be up higher and make him kind of go, you know. Now we've gotten down there, we're picking off a few leaves here. Okay, I'm done boring you. It's just because it's my favorite medium doesn't mean it's yours. There you go. Isn't he cute? He is the cutest thing. And what did that take me? 20 minutes? Fooling around. Now we had a guy here that worked on earlier at 11 o'clock. He worked on the tree that he showed you the whole time he was here last year. And he's still not done with it. And he won't be for a long time. And I'm going, oh, I don't like instant gratification, but I want something in the neighborhood of, you know, before I die. So, there you go. Isn't that cute?